Hey everyone, it is Denise Salcedo, and I am super excited because I've been bringing interviews to you back to back to back. And right now, I have a brand new interview with none other than Impact Wrestling's very own Outlandish Zicky Dice. What else? What's up, Zicky?
Feeling a little outlandish this morning, Denise. How are you?
I'm doing great. Off the air, we were kind of talking about how long it's been since the last time we saw each other in person. You and I, we got to work a couple of shows together early
Yes,
on in both of our careers. And I feel
very
like,
true.
you have gone on, now you're with Impact Wrestling. I've gone this other route, and here we meet again.
And that's the beauty of this all. And let that be motivation to everyone watching right now. It's those who give up that don't succeed. And here we are.
That is true. So let's talk about that. We were talking about not giving up, going out there and really making things happen. And Zicky, I think that you're one of those people, especially given the fact that you have officially signed with Impact Wrestling. I know that you were doing the rounds in the independents. You then went to the NWA, and now here you are at Impact Wrestling, a promotion that has really, has their legacy, has their history. It's making waves continuously. So I got to ask you, as somebody who knows what it's like to put in the work and, in hopes of one day getting signed to a company, what did it mean to you to get signed with Impact Wrestling?
Well, let me start off by saying this. Some of the best advice that I've ever received in my whole entire career went a little something like this: a no is a yes waiting to be answered. And that stuck with me. That really stuck with me and motivated me. It lit the fire under my ass that I needed. And I'll tell you what, this business will chew you up and spit you right out. It don't owe you a damn thing. You hear that time and time again, but it really is a mental war game. And I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm destined for. And when it finally came about, when Impact finally reached out and made the offer, I was like, this is the right spot, because I mean, with signing the Impact, there's so much more that comes with that. Let's be honest here. I can go to Mexico and work at AAA if I wanted to. I can go to Japan, work for New Japan. I can go get my NWA World Television Championship back if I really want, or hell, I can walk through the door at AEW and show up there anytime I please. There's a lot of options on the table, and I'm going to be at Impact for a little while, so get comfortable. And with it, and right now it is, wrestling is very, very hot, and there's opportunities everywhere. Impact's taking the show on the road a little bit more. We're seeing more and more fans come out. I'm seeing more and more Impact shows popping up, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
And let's kind of rewind a little bit because I think you touched on something right now that made me want to ask you this. So you mentioned it being sort of a struggle to, get places and not giving up, and it being a mental thing and all of that. I do want to ask you, was there ever like a moment where you're like, oh my God, when is my break finally going to happen? I think as creatives, we're always asking ourselves, when is our break going to happen? What did you do to kind of set your mindset to say, you know what, keep going no matter what?
Whoa, man, how many times? There's been a lot of those times. I should just go get my wife upstairs and bring her down. I mean, there has been some very rough days here in the Dice household. And one of those moments being specifically when I came back from AEW, when I went and had my showing at Dark, and I was hoping to get a little bit more out of that, right? And I was very grateful for the opportunity to be there. But when I came back, that was like almost like a reality check. Like, oh man, like I had, there's a great conversation I had with Ricky Starks, and he told me straight up, he said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't set yourself up to fail. And that's exactly what I did. So that was a rough few weeks, but I used that, I got in my funk and I used that motivation. Like, okay, we got to buckle down. We got to make something happen here. The clock is ticking, and I have a lot of friends that call me an ageist or feel that I worry about that a lot, but it's true, that there's a lot of young talent coming through, and they're very, very good. And I don't know, it must be something in the Nuggets these days, whatever McDonald's giving these kids, but there's young stars. And there's, in my travels, right, and in the last 7 years I've been doing this, I have seen a lot of incredible talent, right? And nothing happens to them. Guys that you would think like this guy could be a star, but it doesn't come, right? I didn't want to be one of those guys, so I made sure to just put this face everywhere. Like I was like, okay, well, if that wasn't it, got to work even harder now. And I'm not afraid to do things that others won't do. Some things that make other people a little uncomfortable, Zicky Dice isn't afraid to do. And I feel that's what it takes.
I love that you mentioned the ageism thing, but it's true. It's like, where
Yeah,
is everybody? Like, how are these, like, people so talented? And you're like, man, at that age, like, I was barely, trying to figure out who I even was. So it is
no
kind of
kidding.
interesting to see how people are developing and, kind of starting careers when, let's be real, like, we were still like dealing with high school stuff and all of this random life situation. So
Correct.
I do want to ask you, all right, so you sign with Impact Wrestling. I want to get a timeline or an idea of how the opportunity essentially came about, how the offer came about, and what made you decide, like, hey, when you mentioned all these other options, all these other things that you could have done, these other directions that you could have gone, what made you say, hey, this is the place where I want to devote my time to?
So I was waiting a little while. There was a few emails going back and forth with a few people at WWE for the time being. MLW had reached out and brought me in for their Rumble, and I had went and did that and got a great reaction there. And MLW had offered a contract, and I just kept kind of sitting waiting. And it was that next week that Impact had came about. Scott D'Amore reached out and made me an offer, and I sat for a little while, about a week and a half, and I talked to everyone and went back and forth, talked to my family and friends, and I finally came to the decision. I woke up and I said, we're going to Impact, baby. That's what we're gonna do. And I feel that with everything going on in wrestling right now, I would love to help build more buzz at the company, right? Like help get the company rocking and rolling. It's a good spot for new talent to come and develop, or talent that have been elsewhere to come back and find who they are and grow from there. And I gotta say, I'm very happy with my decision. It's this past weekend, I think, was my 4th month there. Yeah, and I remember I had
And in
messaged my
September,
wife.
correct?
uh
Yeah.
yeah, September was the first. I think maybe mid-August is when I had signed, and I texted my wife and I said, I love my job. I'm happy here at work, and there's a lot of opportunity for growth and Impact. And Zicky Dice has yet to spread his wings and fly, and I think that's what we're about to do.
And you did mention having conversations with WWE. How did that go down? What did that entail? And what was it that essentially made you say, you know what, this isn't the place for me?
It wasn't necessarily that. It was more of like some back and forth, right? Like they had messaged me on my birthday and were like, "Hey, just so you know, we don't have anything for you yet." And it's like, okay,
Right.
yeah, what am I supposed to do with that information, right? It's like you could have
You're
not
like, I have plenty of ideas.
exactly. It's like you could have you just didn't have to send me a message, right? And so I just kind of felt like I was just sitting there on the line sometimes, and that's where this mental warfare comes in, right? Because you're sitting there thinking like something's going to happen. And I had went and had my dark matches on before SmackDown. I had 2 of them, and both times I've gotten standing ovations. Like, we never give standing ovations, and you got that. And Shane McMahon walks up to me at the airport. He's like, "Are you the guy I heard about earlier today?" And I'm like, I think so, And it's like all the stuff plays and wears on you, right? And then you don't hear anything. It just goes like cold, just ghosted. And I mean, we've all been ghosted before, and that's exactly what it felt like. That's exactly what it felt like. And you just MLW comes along, Impact comes along, I'm sitting there flirting with WWE, and it's just like, what do I do? Where do I go? So I just you can ask my Puerto Rican mother. She'll tell you I'm a very impatient person, and I'm proud to say that I sat with this decision with a little bit of patience, and I think that that paid off.
And I feel like there's only so much time that a person can wait till, somebody decides to give you an opportunity. I think that, if anything, we learned that the people that succeed are the ones that, take the bull by the horns. And I feel like
Exactly.
that's what you got to do. So now,
Exactly.
you're, like you mentioned, you're a couple months into Impact Wrestling. You are teaming with VSK. You're obviously working under with Brian Myers with the Learning Tree. Let's talk a little bit about that, what that experience has been like, the concept and how that was pitched to you and how you felt about all of that.
I saw an ad on in the newspaper that there was a wrestling talent from Impact looking for some students, and I saw an opportunity. So I thought that I would take that opportunity. Just know that I'm one step ahead than everybody else always, Denise. Always, always. Even you right now on this interview. And Brian, I'll be honest, I wasn't always the best student. Hell, I think I didn't make it past the 6th grade. I got a whole lot of detention and skipped out for a whole lot of lunches. So the whole teacher thing, Zicky Dice has a little bit of a problem with authority, and VSK, God, he's such a teacher's pet, And I said this yesterday. If you lean a little close, you can see actual shit on his nose, and that's because his nose is shoved so far up Brian Meyer's ass, little kiss ass. Yeah, I know they train together and spend a lot of time together in New York, but they like to take things out on Outlandish Zicky Dice. And don't worry, they do this about 6 more times, and I'm freaking out of here.
I love that. I love that. It's kind of cool to kind of see how all of this has, begun to flourish. I'm excited to see what you're going to do in Impact. So before we go on and talk about your show, I do want to ask you though, what are your goals within Impact Wrestling and things that you would like to do?
Well, we can start with the X Dice Vision. You like that? That's
yeah.
In the words for trademark X Dice Vision Championship. Hell, we can go with the Impact World Title, and I like to travel the world a little bit. There's a lot of places that I haven't been yet. I'm pretty sure Mexico would like to get Outlandish. Japan would like to get Outlandish. And I need more TV time, Denise. That's what we need. A little bit more television time. Then we get the commercials and the ads and the sponsorships and all the fun stuff that comes with it. Hell, maybe even free Nikes if we play our cards right.
Hell yeah, the free Nikes. That's what we're in here for. More TV time, more Nikes, etc. I also, you mentioned going to new places and whatnot. Obviously, Impact Wrestling is going back on the road. I just did an interview earlier today with Deonna Purrazzo, who is really excited about that. Given that you're new to the company and this is going to be, I'm not going to say a relatively new experience because you've traveled different parts of the world, but to essentially have a home company and get to have these experiences to travel. How excited are you for that?
Very, very excited, especially as I see the new dates come through the email. I'm like, oh, rock and roll, baby. And what's great, another great thing about Impact is, Denise, I can still work these indies if I want. I can still take some indie bookings. There's a lot of indie companies that I have yet to work for, like Beyond Wrestling. I love to go back to Prestige Wrestling or West Coast Pro. And there's a lot of spots I'd like to hit. AAW in Chicago is another great one. So I just like to take this time to make my rounds and make a lot of people laugh and feel some type of way.
I love that. So now, we've talked about what you're doing in Impact Wrestling, but let's go ahead and jump into this next portion of the interview because I'm very, very curious to learn about this. So January 15th, you are doing Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise, a wrestling show on Twitch. And I got to start off by asking you, is this the first show that you ever run, or have you done other ones before?
Well, this is the first professional wrestling event I've ever thrown in my life, but don't be fooled. I have thrown plenty of music events back in the day, and I like to say, hey, it's the same carnival, different game. Step right up and win a prize. This has been my baby. I partnered with Twitch about 1.5 years ago, and I told this story recently. I had gotten a call from Thunder Rosa, and she's like, Zicky, you need to focus on one platform, whether that's your Instagram or a YouTube or something. I said, yeah, I think you're right. I don't know what. I said, maybe my Instagram. It's got the most followers. So I'm sitting there like staring. I'm like, all right, what do I do now? What do I post? And it was that next day that I had gotten contacted by a rep at Twitch, and they said, hey, why don't you bring Zicky Dice on the platform? And I said, I don't play video games. And they said, that's wonderful. How creative can you get? And I said, ding, and in that time they brought me on. I got partnered right off the bat, and they had brought on 12 wrestlers for a little experiment that like Twitch and Twitch Sports was doing. And in that time, I had landed a weekly front page stream with an average of like anywhere from 25,000 to 50,000 viewers a week.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. That led to some more opportunities where I got chosen to become a host for a game show on Twitch called Hive Mind. I was picked and then dropped because although I was new on the platform, they had went with some hosts that had 2.2 million followers, and I can't compete with that right now.
Happens to the best of us.
That's right. So that had happened, and there was a few other events that I did, some co-streams and some co-hosts on some other stuff. But every single meeting that I had with Twitch, I was like, at the end, I was like, hey, I have an idea that I want to pitch. And I had been pitching this to my rep since day one. And what that was is Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise. I see the future, and what I see is cable is soon to be obsolete. And fans are dying to get into the action. Fans are dying to be a part of this so bad that they're hopping the barricade, Denise. They want to be involved. So here's what Zicky Dice is doing for you and everybody else. I'm bringing you an interactive professional wrestling show. And what does that mean? For example, in my Hey Brother Battle Royal that we have this weekend, there's going to be a few eliminations where the chat will actually have the choice to insert someone back into the match.
What?
Or send them back packing. So there's going to be a lot of interaction from the chat where even though we are going to have people in-house, we're doing this live from Canton, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta. We will have a front page stream on Twitch, but there's going to be some, I can't give away all the spoilers yet, but there is going to be a lot of interaction with chat. And I'm excited to get this first one off, because then, there's going to be a lot of learning curves. And when Outlandish Paradise 2.0 and 3.0 come out, we'll learn from there. But what you can expect is a lot of interaction and a show that's heavily it's for the chat. We want that chat interaction. Like that's what all of us are going to be working off. And I can't wait to bring this to life.
That is going to be very cool. I think as fans, we're always talking about booking decisions and what goes down and, oh, that was a bad call. That was a good call. Well, now on the show, the power is in our hands. So I do have to ask you though, I know that you mentioned that this was something that you had been pitching. Was there a part of you that always thought like, hey, you know what? I think I could be, a promoter and put a show together and, do all of this stuff? Or was it one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'll give it a try? Or was it something that you've always wanted to do?
So I knew, okay, I don't want to do this regularly, right? I'm a very busy guy. I got a lot on my plate. Not only that, but this is something, if all goes well, I'd like to do 4 a year, maybe, or 2 or 3 a year, like we got WrestleMania coming up. Twitch has announced TwitchCon. I would love to bring wrestling to TwitchCon. And what's super exciting about this project is there is a whole generation on this platform who has no idea what professional wrestling is and have never seen professional wrestling. And what I'm excited to do is share my vision with a lot of new viewers and see what their reaction is. And that's how it started for pretty much all of us, right? We caught wrestling randomly and then we were hooked. So I'm hoping to bring in some new fans this weekend.
The second you mentioned TwitchCon, instantly I was like, that is a phenomenal way to get new fans and, interested in wrestling, or at least, remembering that wrestling exists, let's make wrestling cool again, across the board, So let's walk us through the card, because you got several matches announced. Obviously, you're going one-on-one against Evil Uno. You got an amazing match with Thunder Rosa and Taya Valkyrie, but I'll let you, talk about your own card and kind of, some of the matches.
What's pretty cool too about this is we have some awesome Twitch creators get involved. We got Grand Pooh Bear, who will be joining us on commentary. He's a Red Bull talent and loves his professional wrestling. Johnny LaQuasta will be joining us on commentary. I've got this asshole puppet that follows me around, Zicky Dice. You can expect to see him. Medusa's coming through Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise. There's a lot of surprises, but let's talk about the card, starting off with our quadruple cataclysmic clash. That's Darian Bankston versus Trey Miguel versus Chris Bay versus Myron Reed, starting the show off hot, just the way we like it. And that's followed up by Enzo and Rich Swann. A match is like 4 years in the making, right? And then we have our Hey Brother Battle Royal that I was talking about, where I'm giving 1 million clams to the winner. And all these are all men that slid into my DMs trying to get booked. And all of us are guilty of, when a promotion announces a show with doing the good old eye emoji. Well, this time it worked. That's where I chose these competitors for this matchup, was actually from a tweet. These brothers all posted the eye emoji. And guess what? They got booked. And after that, we got the dream match we all didn't know that we needed.
I like you're like, screw the resume, screw the demo reel, send in the eye emojis.
What? I mean, it is the Outlandish Paradise, right? Come on now.
That is true.
And then the dream match that we all didn't know whether we needed, Effie versus Dalton Castle. I think those two are just going to stare at each other and maybe flock around like flamingos, and we're all going to love it. And then,
I love Effie too.
Yes.
I think he's definitely perfect, especially for the theme of the show. And he's such a fun, lively performer.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And after that, we have Thunder Rosa versus Taya Valkyrie. And this is Taya's first match back since being released. And I couldn't think of a better opponent for her. And I really am looking forward to that matchup.
I the second I saw that match was announced, I was like, my God. I was like, that is going to be brilliant because obviously, Thunder Rosa is killing it. Taya Valkyrie was killing it. And she's probably, I mean, I don't want to speak for her, but I'm sure she's got a chip on her shoulder. And now she, he wants to get back in there and really prove people wrong. So I think that when you have two alpha, females like Taya and Thunder Rosa coming together and clashing together in the ring, that's a pretty good matchup there.
You're right. You're right about that. And I can't wait to see it. And did I mention, oh my gosh, Denise, I am so rude. How could I forget? I'm giving everyone this show for free at twitch.tv/Zicky Dice. This show will be free. We go live at 7:35 p.m. Eastern with the pre-show starting at 7:45. And at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are live with Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise. But that brings us to the main event, right? And I didn't book the show so I could put myself in the main event. Zicky's been over, baby. And I wanted to host. I wanted to give everyone a free gift and let everyone enjoy themselves. I wanted to sit back and drink drinks with the little umbrellas and pineapples in them at my own show. But unfortunately, Evil Uno decided, I stopped by his Twitch. He was live and his chat started popping off about, oh, Zicky's in here and his Outlandish Paradise. And Evil Uno decided to get disrespectful. I asked him to apologize. He didn't want to apologize. He said he got rude. And it was simple. You disrespect me on a public forum, apologize on a public forum. So then I invited him to the Outlandish Paradise to come and talk. And now he said he wants to fight. He said, Zicky, if you want to pay my booking fee, I'll come and fight you. And I said, baby, your booking fee is a hand of blackjack to me. And I already lost that. No problem.
That is incredible. I'm so excited for that. Obviously a fan of Evil Uno as well. I do have to know though, and I wanted to ask you earlier, but I completely forgot. I just remembered right now. We mentioned the fact that you're putting together this show and it's not an easy thing to do. Now, I've never booked my own show, but from an outsider's perspective, I can only imagine what the experience has been like. What has been the funnest part and what has been the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge. Let's start there. Let's see what I was doing right before this. Word to the wise. Make sure you get the trip insurance when you're booking a flight for somebody else because star card subject to change. That's been a challenge. There was a last minute AEW dark taping that was added to their calendar, and I had some AEW talent on the card, and I've been working on this card since August, and this was just about 3 weeks ago. And I was luckily able to salvage the card because I want to provide a nice show in an intimate setting, right? With a lot of stars that you wouldn't normally see in one room, right? And it's hard. And this is a great thing about professional wrestling right now is it's hard to bring something very, very special because there are stars literally everywhere, right? You got stars that just from Ring of Honor, Impact, MLW, AEW, talent that just got released, talent on the indies. There's a lot of stars around, so it's really hard to bring something special. I thought that was a fun challenge. And also designing the ring, I think was pretty fun. But other than the stressors, here we are. We're a few days out. We are rocking and rolling. The show must go on no matter what. Goose Fraba, are you feeling that? Are you feeling that? That's starting to feel a little outlandish. And then it's go time. And I feel it's going to go by so quick. But once it's all said and done, I'm going to be ready to rock and roll for the second one.
I got to tell you, you made me feel really good about the insurance thing because yesterday I was booking flights for show and a part of me was like, should I pay the extra $19, $20 for trip insurance? And then like the good part of me was like, maybe I should. And then the other part of me was like, man, I'm really pissed I spent that extra money. And right now when you said that, it reminded me of that. And I was like, you know what? Nice. Good information.
That's the one thing. Yeah. The cheap ass in me really doesn't want to spend. Some of them are like $14. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But then I've had to move flights around or talent has to cancel. I'm like, oh my God, I'm out $323 instead of the 19 that I could have spent.
Exactly. All right. Yeah. So add the trip insurance. Okay. So it does matter. Yes. So Zicky, before we go, I do want to play this lightning round game that I do with pretty much everybody here. It's one of my favorite things to do. I ask you 10 random questions and you just give me the information you want to give me. So here we go. Are you guys ready for the lightning round with Zicky Dice? Let's do this. Question number 1. What is the most outlandish thing you have ever done?
Oh my gosh. We'll start with I have my friend James's name tattooed on my butt. He has my name tattooed on his butt. We got those tattoos for free. I was getting tattooed, and my tattoo artist was like, "Hey, if you guys get each other's names on your butt," he's like, "I'll do it for free." And I was like, "Nope, here's my cheek." So there's that one. Yeah.
Are you guys still you guys are still friends though, right?
Yeah, we still rocking and rolling
now.
Yes, my mom had my Puerto Rican mother. I had mentioned that earlier. She used to like to break in while I was showering to check my body for new tattoos.
No.
And
I'm gonna smack you upside down. Get you with the chancla.
She saw the tattoo of his name on my butt, and she pulled me to sit down. We had a serious conversation. She wanted to know if we were in love with each other. And I said, I love James as a friend. He's one of my good friends, but no, mother. I love my girlfriend at the time. So,
oh my God.
Yeah,
what did your girlfriend at the time say about this?
Oh, I mean, look at me. What can't you say,
That is amazing. Question number 2. Who would you consider your closest friends in wrestling?
Ooh, I got a few of them. I'd say Ricky Starks. I'd say Carly Bravo. I'd say the front man, Jossie, Lord Crew, Levi Shapiro, Brody King, Yuma, Peter. I feel like I'm missing a few.
Your friends are going to be like, so we're not that close friends because you clearly didn't mention me in this.
yeah. And I've been making a lot more, and it's cool when you have the ride or dies with you.
Of course. Question number 3. What is your guilty pleasure snack?
Oh my freaking gosh. I love cake. But as of late, are you familiar with crumble cookies?
Crumble cookie cake?
No, but crumble cookies, I'm not endorsed, but they come out with these big cookies. They're like this big, and
it's a brand. Okay.
Yeah, and they're like this little store, and their menu changes weekly. And I'm waiting for the cornbread cookie to come back up. And Lord Crew and I are obsessed with crumble cookies. We will send each other Snapchats like, "Dude, we're going to crumble," and I'm like, "Please don't. I'm trying to diet, please." But I love crumble cookies and cake. So.
Any type of flavor of cake, or what's your guilty? What's the one that you love the most?
My one buddy Dion, he's another close friend. We're carrot cake brothers. I do like carrot cake, but if I had to choose, it's going to be chocolate on chocolate.
Nice. Yeah, I think carrot cake is an underrated flavor, but if you love it, you appreciate it for what it is.
Yep.
Good stuff. Question number 4. What is your favorite video game, mobile game, or arcade game?
My favorite video game would be Overwatch. I do spend a lot of time playing Overwatch, sometimes on stream and sometimes when I just have some time to kill. I suck at aiming, but there's a character called Reinhardt that you can play, and he has this big old shield and swings a big hammer. So I don't really have to worry about aiming, and I'm actually very good at playing Reinhardt. So I found a game I'm good at, and I'm sticking with it.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, question number 5. Do you have any pets?
I do, and he just turned 7 years old this past weekend. I have a dog named Ric Flair. I got him, and when he was 8 weeks old, I got him 2 weeks before I moved to the Midwest for training at the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, and he's been with me ever since. So my true tag team partner. He's a very, very good boy.
And he doesn't bark; he woos.
Yeah, that is his release command. He does woo, yes. And we don't do high fives. We tag.
Oh, I love that. Question number 6. What is the greatest movie of all time?
Easy answer. That's going to be The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Amazing movie. Question number 7. Name the top 3 artists on your playlist.
Oh, man. As of lately. On my, gosh. Okay. Deftones are one. Gosh, what else have I been listening to lately? The Get Up Kids. And oh man, I'm gonna have to go with an oldie but goodie and Poison the Well. Those are my 3
good
tops.
picks. Good picks. Question number 8. Do you have a secret talent? And if so, what is it?
I can spit fire and flip my eyelids inside out.
Okay. All right. I'll take that for an answer. It's an outlandish talent. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Question number 9. What would you say is the funniest TV show?
Oh man. How I Met Your Mother, I think.
Yes.
Mine. Yeah.
Who is your favorite character? Who is your favorite?
Oh, Barney, of course. Yeah. Barney is hilarious.
I love him. I love that show. Are you going to watch How I Met Your Father, the Hilary Duff reboot?
I actually had no idea that was a thing until right now.
It's coming out the same day as your show, I believe. Yeah.
Really?
I think I saw that the date was the 15th. So, yeah, it's coming out. I forgot on what platform, but they're doing a reboot of it. So
And with Hillary Duff?
with Hilary Duff, I
Okay,
think,
I like Hillary Duff. I'll give it a
yeah,
whirl. I'll give it a little whirl.
yeah, I think it sounds good. So we'll see. Last question number 10. What's on your bucket list in or out of wrestling?
Oh man, to go to Japan, whether it's wrestling related or not. I did wrestle in South Korea about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, and I was so close to Japan. And South Korea was awesome, and that's definitely on my to-do list.
I love that. Awesome. Well, Zicky, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. It was a blast. Before we go, please remind people where they can watch the show and where they can follow you as well.
Tune in this Saturday night live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zicky Dice for Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise. I made this nice and simple so you can follow this outlandish journey I call life at Zicky Dice on every piece of social media out there. Come hither.
Awesome. So I'm going to be posting the link to the show in the description box below. I'm going to be posting all of the social links to Zicky's pages. You can go ahead and follow those on there. But thank you guys so much as always for watching. Do not forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more interviews just like this one. And until later, I'm Denise Salcedo. This is Zicky Dice, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.